What is up, y'all? I gotta figure out a better placement situation for all of this stuff because it ain't giving what I wanted to give. But it's cool. Put a little, uh, yeah. Alright, so I can't look down there. I have to look here. Alright, so I want to read off some of the posts I made last night and this morning. What's crazy is I'm glad I thought of this setup because I don't usually get to do this because I'm usually recording on my phone, which is different for me. But let me take my out of here. Okay, so all right, so boom. The first thing I want to share is I've been learning that you truly have to do it alone. You can want and feel like you need them around, but if they need or want to be there, they will. Some people can't see the light in themselves, and that's not your mission or problem. Just do you. So like that's something I really been learning. Like you could want the best for people, places, and things, but if that energy is not cultivated in their own understanding of self, then it doesn't matter what you want because what you they don't want it. Like you can't help somebody that don't want help. Like that's something I had to learn when I was a kid. Like with my mom. Like you can't help somebody that don't want to help, that don't want help. You can try all you want to, but you truly have to just do it alone. Be okay with being alone. Like I feel like that's the kicker. They don't that God didn't put that vision in their eyes how God put it in your eyes. So you have to allow God to be God and show you the true colors of the people you have around you. Because you could think highly of someone and they could think so low of you all because they choose not to understand you. They choose to be that blockage in your life. Yeah, you may not even look at them like that because you love them so much, but a lot of times it's not about how much you love a person, it's about how much they love themselves, because how much they love themselves show how much they love you, shows how aware they are to their love of you. Because some if a person don't love themselves, then they quite literally cannot love you properly. They cannot love you because they don't love themselves. Like it don't like just like if a person lied to themselves, expect them to lie to you. If a person calls themselves ugly, don't expect them to ever tell you the truth about themselves or about you. Like it's it's a it's a weird perception of life that I've grown to look at it. But what I've learned is it brought me so much comfort in not taking things personally. Like really not taking things personally because people know not what they do. When people are stuck in their own ways and if they can't see clearly of their own deceit, then all they see is deception. They won't even be able to see your truth because they're not living in their truth. And that's okay. Like that's why you have to separate yourself from those type of people. because you can't force them to live a life that they don't want to live in, and they can't force you to live a life that you don't want to live in. So that's why you have to separate yourself. That's why you have to do it alone. You have to understand that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to understand that when you're not okay, it's ways to for you to get okay. Like for instance, I've been feeling like this feeling for some weeks now. Really this whole month. And I don't know why this whole month just made me feel like that, but it did. And this morning I decided to take my teacher's advice and really take a leap and just define how I want my day to go. Take how I feel out, take how I feel about the situation out, and do what I feel called to do. Stop worrying about this, that, and the third, and focus on the objective that I want to accomplish today. I want to feel accomplished today. I want to succeed today. I want to get what I need to get done today. So in order to get what I need to get done today, I need to pour into myself first. If I'm not pouring into myself first, and I can't pour into anything else. And that be our problem as people, as creators, as lovers, as humans. We tend to pour, like the society got us like this. We tend to pour into everything else before we pour into ourselves. Like a lot of people use the phrase like I sleep when I'm dead. Like no, sleep now. Take that rest now. Go to sleep now. Get a good night's sleep tonight so that when you wake up in the morning you can get more than you need to get done. Stop saying you're gonna rest when you're dead. No. You will die before you even accomplish what you want to accomplish because you are literally killing yourself. And like that's that's something I had to like really come to terms with, because if you don't see the light in yourself, then you won't be able to water your plants how you're supposed to. It's not personal, so stop assuming that it is. Just do your best and pay attention to your surroundings. Simple. Simple as said. Like for real. Uh never fight a oh so a few last week or the week before I was watching this show called right, and the you could say the last boss, because okay, so I'm thinking of it like a video game, like how you go through all of these obstacles, but then it's this last boss that you gotta go through in order to reach that next step. So I wouldn't say it's the last one, I say it's the one before it. So the one before the last boss, all right. The last boss was the people that when they went through the anomaly, the ones where I'm talking about the people that they met when they traveled to a whole nother planet. I think it was planet Beta. No, it was planet Alpha. When they traveled to planet Alpha, but it was on steroids at this point. Like you had people that were raising a group of people to sacrifice their bodies, to take their bodies. So they lied to them about about how they were gods and they were going to be with the gods just so that they can live forever by putting their consciousness inside of these little USB drives and putting them inside of their heads and stuff. That's how they took over other people's bodies and whooped them. So and that's what I said, like never fight a force that can destroy themselves. Like they wind up destroying themselves because once the people learned the truth, they turned on their gods, and once the gods lost their power because the people knew the truth, they turned on each other and they turned on the people. So like that they literally ate away at each other like it was crazy. And it's like Clark them, they wind up going to uh, save the world in a sense, and it was so weird because they was struggling to find peace there. They wanted to make a difference. They wanted to do something different, but they didn't want to they didn't want to destroy that world how they did their world. But in a sense, they needed to, because I mean they needed to be there. They needed to do what they did because the people it was ill intent in the first place. And it was like, I feel like in the whole show, they were on a mission to rid the world of the evil before it restored itself. In a sense, like that was what God was doing, because it's like the way that the whole story ended, it was like, you got to pay for your crimes. Y'all understand you did all of this, but you got to pay for your crimes regardless. I'm not that's ah I'm gonna do a whole you dig on the 100, because I would love to dissect that whole series. I want to watch it again and then dissect it. But I think I'm gonna do Lovecraft Country before I do the 100, because Lovecraft Country is shorter, and that's next. I love that show so much. Um, Next one. We don't get to know each other anymore. I'm talking about really get to know a person. Life's been filled with hella gossip, twisted perceptions, unrealistic expectations, opinions, and or assumptions. Just wearing a mask to either hide or be hidden. It's sick, honestly, how twisted humanity is. Like, goal and destination are two different words with two different meanings. Don't confuse the journey you take with the reward you plan to receive. It's a process not meant for the weak. The inconsideration of a person suffering is why a lot of people feel alone in the midst of those they love. To be loved is when a person learns your language. So if someone doesn't consider you, then they don't care about you. That's my basic understanding of life. Look over there. But look there. But like now for real, like I feel like as people we have to get back to our humanity, our instincts, our mammalism. Because like the thing about animals is, I heard this and it blew my mind because it's so true. They said animals are connected to the most high, and you could tell because whenever things change in the earth, you could first tell by how the animals react. They have these animal instincts, just like what's his name? Spider-Man. You got spidey senses. Animals have instincts where, for instance, bears hibernate for the winter. How do they know that the winter is coming? Because they have the senses to tell, like, it's time. Let's go gather our food. Let's hibernate for the winter time, because we can't be out here. We can't be out here like them other folks. But also birds. So this is how you know it's gonna if it's gonna rain or something. So if birds are flying high in the sky and just being it's all in the air, then that's how you know it's gonna be a sunny day and it's gonna be clear skies and all of that. But when birds are flying low to the ground and they stay into the ground a lot, that's how you know that that it's gonna rain or some kind of bad weather is coming, because they're avoiding the air. They're trusting their instinct. They're trusting in the Most High, and they're staying where they are safe, because they have this fight or flight mode where they are very in tune with their root chakra, where they pay attention to the things that bring them fear, that fear instincts. They pay attention to they have that's their livelihood in a sense. I think I'm gonna get back into Animal Planet because Animal's been calling my name lately. Like, it's so crazy. But then also like this man named K Ferg, he a comedian in Chicago. So if you heard of K Ferg, shout out to him. But he said that how you know that it's gonna be a cold winter is when got real big on like being more attentive to the things that be the things that are part of life that we tend to take for granted sometimes. Like I've been really like getting back in that mode because man, I ain't perfect. I ain't perfect at all. But we finna read a story to set the tone. It's called Magical Moments. What one loves in childhood stays in the heart forever. Interesting. My frequent business travel rewarded me with 2 free airline tickets, realizing the tickets expired immediately after Labor Day weekend. I started investigating destinations to visit. I was pleased to learn the airline recently started nonstop flights to Orlando, Florida. I have an 8-year-old son named Ryan. My husband supported my idea of Disney World, so I began planning our trip to Orlando. It was Friday evening of Labor Day weekend. As we drove by the airport on our way to visit someone special in the hospital, my son asked how airplanes find their way from the runway to the gate. We described taxiways and how they were used by airplanes. I said to Ryan, why don't we come over to the airport one day and we watch the airplanes use the taxiway from the gate area? He liked that idea. The next day was Saturday. Early in the morning, I announced I was going to exercise. That was not unusual for me. Instead of going to exercise, I went to the airport to make a deposit of luggage. When I returned home, my husband and I asked Ryan what he wanted to do for the day. We decided activity to pick fun activities to do over the 3-day weekend. Ryan did not hesitate. He wanted to go to the theme park with ride shows and the like. He said he wanted to go only if we could stay all day and into the evening to watch the fireworks. We agreed. I suggested that since we would be there for 2 meals, I would take some sandwiches so that we did not have to spend a lot on food. We left the house with sandwiches in tow. The big bag allowed me to carry other items as well. Pulling out of the driveway, I said to my husband and Ryan, since it is so early, let's stop by the airport before we head over to the theme park. We could look at the taxiways you asked about last night. Since we live so close to the airport, they thought it was a good idea. When we entered the park area, knowing Ryan loves rides, I said, why don't we ride why don't we park in long-term parking? We can take the shuttle bus to the terminal and make it fun. Ryan was thrilled. Getting out of the car, I mentioned that the sandwiches were made with mayo and it would be best not to leave them in the hot car. So I took the bag into the airport terminal with us. I quietly instructed my husband to take Ryan and walk down a few gates, then returned to meet me at gate 2 within 5 minutes, and then I announced that I was going to find the restroom. While they walked off, I asked the agent to the gate to be a part of the fun. As Ryan and my husband approached, Ryan was paged by the agent at gate 2. Ryan looked at me nervously and asked what he did wrong. I responded that I did not know and suggested he ask the agent. He came to the counter. 2 other agents watched as a third agent asked Ryan his full name. A bit nervous, Ryan shared his name. She then handed him a bright yellow envelope, and she said she was asked to deliver it to him from someone very special. Ryan did not know what to do. Uh, Ryan did not know what to do. and he was aware he was being watched. I suggested he open the envelope. Out came a bright yellow paper with a message that read, "Dear Ryan, please meet me at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning at the front gate of the Magic Kingdom at Disney World. From your special friend Mickey Mouse." He read it and looked at me confused. "He told me we could not get there tomorrow," I said. He read it and looked at me confused. "He told me we could not get there tomorrow," I said. "You're right. We'll have to go today. Better yet, let's go right now." The ticket agents were smiling ear to ear. They had enjoyed their role. As we boarded, Ryan, a very astute 8-year-old, asked Mom, "Are we bringing? Are we only bringing sandwiches?" I smiled and explained that our luggage was already on the plane. Mickey Mouse had called earlier, and I knew what to pack. My husband and I watched as Ryan boarded the plane in disbelief. Of course, I told the flight attendant who welcomed us on the board that what had just happened. She proceeded to announce to the entire flight that we have a very special person on board that has an important meeting with Mickey Mouse tomorrow morning. The flight lasted a little over 2 hours. Numerous times I could watch Ryan take out the letter and read it over and over. The emotions he experienced was so memorable. A few moments, a few people seated nearby got a wind of what was happening and added to the excitement by asking Ryan what he would say to Mickey Mouse when he saw him in the morning. One older man turned to me and said, "The memory you are creating for him will last a lifetime. He is a lucky boy. He is a lucky boy to have you as parents." My husband and I smiled with gratitude. As we approached Orlando, the flight attendant again announced Ryan's important meeting with Mickey Mouse and asked Ryan to tell Mickey that their airline brought him to Orlando safely on time. As people were departing the airplane, you could hear some ask, "Who's Ryan?" We had one full day at Disney World and spent it at the Magic Kingdom from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. When we arrived at the gate, I told Ryan that the ticket taker told us Mickey was busy at the moment and he would catch up with us later. Ryan was fine without the explanation. When we were when we were on a return flight at noon on Monday and back home at 2 p.m. as I we were on a return flight at noon on Monday and back at home at 2 p.m. As I learned, why am I putting words in my own mouth? Come on now. As I said goodnight to Ryan at the end of the Labor Day weekend, he asked me, "Did Mickey Mouse really send this letter to me?" I put my hand over my heart and said, "If you believe in your heart, you will know it to be true." He smiled, he gave me a big hug and kiss and said, "Mom, you make the best memories. I will remember this trip forever." By Jane Garnett. Hmm. That was a cool little story. And it really just put a lot of life into what I was talking about. How how twisted life is, like, because she carefully put that memory together, that moment to share with her family, because she took the time, that's something that's gonna last in that child's life forever. And it's the same way with the seeds you plant, the ideas, the seeds that you plant into children's lives. Like, if you only come with judgmental thoughts, then expect that child to live a judgmental life, like where they're judging people, places, and things, and they're being judged, they're being ridiculed, they're stuck in that web. But if you plant the seeds of confidence, of high self-esteem, of awareness, of free thought, and like free spirit, all of that, if you plant positive seeds, then you will have a positive child. Like, she was able to create something that changed the life of him and of the people that was involved. So it's like, when we take the time to like really be mindful of what we are doing in this world, what the seeds we are planting in this world, like, man, life could change. Life could really change. I think I really needed that story. I feel like I heard it before, read it before, probably did, but it's so I love that book so much because it opens my mind to different thoughts, different trains of thoughts, different perspectives on the things that I thought to be true. uh, I've been rambling for 30 minutes, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll probably come on later because I like this setup. I like how free this setup is because I don't have to worry about uploading. It's already uploading to YouTube. Haha, because I'm live. Haha. But nah, like, I'm content. I'm content with how I started my day today. So if you here and you watching and you listening to the girl, to the kid, understand that today is the day you make it to be. Today is the day you choose. Choose you. Choose to be at peace. Choose to be happy. Choose what chooses you. Understand that not everything is supposed to be perfect. Not everything will be perfect, but it's on purpose. If you are spending your time wisely, then you are spending your time wisely. If you are, why, what the hell? Um, I just got a brain fart, bad brain fart. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Peace and love.